If I am obliged to retire from this line, either by a flank movement of the enemy or the want of supplies, great injury will befall us. Robert E. Lee to Jefferson Davis. Monday, May 2nd, 1864, Clark's Mountain, Virginia. Below the mountaintop where Robert E. Lee and his 11 lieutenants were gathered, the Rapidan River flowed peacefully eastward toward its union with the Rappahannock. Across the water to the north, it was all activity in the sprawling Union Army encampment. The camp extended several miles north to Culpeper, where General Ulysses Grant had made his headquarters, and which coincidentally also happened to be the birthplace of A.P. Hill, one of the generals on Clark's Mountain. Through his spyglass, Lee studied the vast city of canvas tents, wooden huts, smoky fires, horses and wagons, and men under arms. "I think those people over there are going to make a move soon," he told his generals. The warm, sunny weather had made their ride up the 1,100-foot dome-shaped mountain almost seem like a lark. But there was nothing light-hearted about the business at hand. The beginning of the war's fourth campaigning season. The men in the pewter-gray uniforms with the gold-starred collars knew there would be few occasions in the coming months for outings such as this, unspoiled by gunfire. Early spring's bright green foliage rioted among the undulating hills below. To the east, a tangled snarl of vegetation crowded the Rapidan's southern shore, concealed by a dense canopy of second-growth trees, vines, and matted undergrowth. The forbidding region known as the Wilderness encompassed 15 square miles of low ridges, hollows, sluggish streams, and swamps. Exactly a year ago, Lee had fought Joe Hooker's army there and had driven the Yankees back over the river, although at a terrible price, the loss of General Thomas J. Stonewall Jackson. 6 months later, George Meade led the Army of the Potomac over the river again, but withdrew when Lee's army burrowed into impregnable defensive positions at Mine Run. Lee directed his general's attention to the opaque green jungle and to 2 river fords 6 miles apart, Ely's and Germanna. Through their field glasses, the officers studied the crossings. Lee told them that Grant would soon cross the Rapidan at one or both of those places. Lee had a knack for placing himself in his adversary's boots, but it was just one of the ways that he anticipated their moves. A lifelong student of warfare, Lee had spent weeks studying the terrain and the proclivities of his new opponent, Grant. Since March, when Grant was named General-in-Chief of all Union armies, Lee had known that he would ready the Army of the Potomac's 3 corps, nominally under Meade's command, for a major offensive. Every train brings it, the Union Army, recruits, and it is stated that every available regiment at the North is added to it, Lee had told Jefferson Davis, the Confederacy's president and de facto war secretary, on March 30th. General Ambrose Burnside, Lee wrote, was at Annapolis with yet another Union corps. On April 9th, he informed Davis that the fact that additions have been made to General Meade's army is shown by an increase of tents, and a week later he urged Davis to quickly send rations, supplies, and forage, as well as more cavalry and artillery. "If I am obliged to retire from this line, either by a flank movement of the enemy or the want of supplies, great injury will befall us," Lee warned. On April 18th, Lee sent the Army's surplus baggage to the rear in anticipation of action. 2 days before the expedition to Clark's Mountain, Lee's skill in seeing things through an adversary's eyes produced a remarkably accurate set of predictions that he shared with Davis. In addition to the Army of the Potomac's campaign, Lee told Davis, "There will no doubt be a strong demonstration made north and south of the James River, which General Pierre G.T. Beauregard will be able successfully to resist. I judge also from the present indications that General William Averill and General Franz Sigel will move against the Virginia and Tennessee Railroad or Stanton." For the James River campaign, Lee predicted that the Union would draw troops from the southeastern coast.